All right. Purposes. This is huge. And this is where it gets hard, guys. There's a lot of stuff, okay, here that we're gonna see, but I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as I can. Um, Number one purpose, okay? The number one created jinn and ins to worship Allah. So
Oh,
that's a
nice,
nice
nice
one.
verse.
That's a nice one. Let's go here.
Where?
It's very similar to so right here, لِيُخْرِجَكُمْ, to take you out مِنَ
To take you
الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى
out.
النُّورِ. Right here. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah,
may
yeah.
bring you out of the darkness. All right. So the only one that's somewhat these are all good actually. This is a purposeful general purpose. This one has the verb salah in it. This just kind of the 1441 one connects with zulumati ila nur, so Allah takes us out of there. It's the same concept. But the ones that we're gonna want to really know, okay, should be 2014. Okay, you have to. This is with Musa. Okay, okay. So this is what you
Yeah,
guys have to know though. Okay, okay. 2014. So Allah is directly talking. Okay,
yeah.
and Allah. So it's like
Beautiful.
mandatory. So there is no God except Allah, Him directly. So worship me. So it connects to exactly what Ismet just brought out. So that's why I kept it there. And but it clearly instructs wa aqimis salah as a noun and not verb. So it's clear as day. Wa aqimis salah why li dhikri. This is the first major purpose. Okay, mandatory for Allah's remembrance. Okay, first person establish. Okay, so this is the first major reason. Hold on, there's much more, okay, guys, but you have to absolutely, there's more. I'm not gonna put the whole verse, okay? So how do you remember this? Okay, 20. So I'm gonna highlight these, but every answer you guys gave is actually really good. Don't get me wrong. Just so that we keep it simple as possible. There's only one verse here. These two. This one's we need to know details, right? Let me just keep it like this. Okay, that's the first. Second major important reasoning is Surah 29:45. Let's go to 29:45.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a very important verse, guys. Very important. Okay. So this is again some of the purposes. It's not. This is not the all of it. There's many purposes of salah. Okay. So first, there's a lot of things in this verse, but we're gonna come back to this one a lot because utlu ma uhiya ilayk min al-kitab wa aqimis salah. So again, we have direct mentioning of salah. Okay, direct. Okay, that's why this is very important. And then that's one mention, and then inna salah. So it's like again another mention. So this is absolutely 100% salah. Again, it removes or prohibits anil fahsha wal munkar. So two deep things. Okay, so let's go here. One, salah prevents al fahsha. So let's call this how do you write it? Immoralities slash very, let's call very negative. Al munkar. This is a very interesting word, and the best way to look at it is how I like to look at it is unknown evils. Okay, and the unknown meaning is as you have it with Ibrahim and Lut. When the angels meet him, they go, "You guys are munkarun," and like unknown. You guys look strange, and so on. But what is this unknown evils? And unknown evil. This is a very interesting emotion. Okay, what does that mean? So nowadays, our time, we have a very, very powerful evil tool and good tool that does this. Like for example, social media. Okay, just to get it doesn't mean it's bad, but it is used in a very bad way, depending on what it is. For example, the feed. When you're swiping, you don't know what the next thing is gonna pop up, right? It's unknown. But if there's like negative things and so on, your curiosity might want you to see, oh, I never saw this. I never that there's a negative curiosity. I never seen that type of thing before, or that type of woman or something like that in guys' cases, or girls will be, I never seen that kind of guy. Wow, this type of negative, evil thought. You guys know what I'm talking about, and this is not like I have no. This is very obvious, and you have to realize we have this type of thought process, and most importantly, Shaitan knows this. It's a very important psychological attack, and our brains so curiosity is not a bad thing, but if it's aiming towards the evil way, it could become very bad, and this enters into the khutuwati shaitan and all that stuff, which we're going to get to another time. But salah, if you do so before these types of thoughts comes to mind, I want to see things I've never seen, or I want to learn about things I never learned that could potentially be very bad, that can take me away from the remembrance of Allah. Okay, so let's just put like this: remembrance, whatever that can hinder away from this. It's considered in this category munkar, and that's why salah is very, so that timing, this and that. Okay, let's do salah. Boom, mindset is fresh, clean, purified by Allah's will, and so on. A lot of beautiful things. So boom, that's that. And finally, the ultimate point here is the remembrance of Allah is akbar. Okay, akbar. Only place in the Quran like this. Wow. Slash the greatest. Okay, a huge thing. So it's a very huge point, and the famous Allahu Akbar here. So we have Vum, Tash. So major purposing here. All right, so we're gonna move on. So the only ones you guys should know is this. Okay, 2014. This is bonus. This is obviously a great bonus verse to know. Okay, but very, very good. But the word salah directly isn't there, but obviously worship, and you can connect worship with the same verse here. So there's a direct connection. This one, let's go like this. So the yellow ones is to remember, okay? Obviously try to know the content within it. So the next purpose, okay, this is a very important one. So this is, we can look at it as purposes dunya, okay, and purposes al-akhirah. Okay, so that's a huge thing, guys. Okay, so we're getting into some complex stuff, but again, you need to know this. So the other one is in the very famous surah al-Muddathir, where over it is 19 is there, and I got the verse wrong here. Is it? No way. So on the day of judgment, so the content we're not gonna go through, but you should kind of have an idea. It's a short surah still. That people are going into Jahannam, hell, but the word here is saqar, so a specific type of punishment that they're gonna enter. Basically, those who looks like they received the books, the words of Allah, they refuse to follow the books of Allah, and those types of people that are going to the punishment of Jahannam, and this specific gate, saqar, it's called. Okay, the saqar punishment. It basically is like a big tablet. Their faces are going to be burned on it, and there's no blood, nothing gets shed on this burning tablet, and it's just it's like imagine like a pen. You take a pen, and the pen, you know how you write on paper with the pen, the ink. So the head of the pen is like the head of the person, and they're gonna basically be writing on this burning tablet forever to signify that they didn't follow the scriptures. It's a huge, crazy punishment, forever, right? And so their answer, so they ask them the verse just before, right? Ma salakakum fi saqar, what has inserted you, right? Put you inserted, salak, you into saqar. Okay, so it's really interesting how that's said. And now this is where they have a chance to speak. And the first thing they say is lam naku minal musallin. The first thing is that we were not among those who did salah, who were prayers. Who is it involved? So if you go to this verse, it's a big ayah. It's a decent sized ayah. And again, it says here from the beginning, it's a fitna lilladina kafaru. Okay, so those who have disbelieved, and the disbelievers are a very deep thing. But I don't want to go off topic, but I'll still bring it out here. This is gonna make you guys see the disbelievers in a complete different way. Okay, this is the only verse in the Quran that says this directly, but we did see this subject in the past, but this is gonna certify what I told you already. So here it says, Allah sanulqi fi qulubi alladhina kafaru. We are going to sanulqi, so it's gonna be in the future tense. So this is how Allah uses future tense in the Quran in Arabic, actually. So we're going to put ru'ba. We're gonna put like this form of terror inside the hearts of disbelievers, kafaru, those who have disbelieved. So al-kafirin, same thing, okay? So Allah's gonna put some sort of a terror in their hearts, and He explains why. He says, "Bima," so because ashraku billah, they have committed shirk with Allah. Ma lam yunazzil bihi sultana, what Allah has not sent down any authority for it. So, in other words, what Allah just said here, and because I'm almost done memorizing this surah, it's very deep. This whole entire surah is about this, and it becomes very obvious when you memorize it. About this subject, but it became extremely clear when you get to here that all kuffars are mushrikins. And I don't know if you guys understood what I just said. What you need to know is that the disbelief, once they officially disbelieve it, they really disbelieve, they're kafar. And even the verses before this is the one where is it even verse 49? Like even here, so it's like non-stop action of like, if you obey those who have disbelieved, they will turn you on your heels and make you losers. Those who have disbelieved and and then they azdadul kufra, they have increased in disbelief. Allah's not gonna forgive them, and so on and so on. But you're wondering, why is Allah so like this? Because they are mushrikins. Bima ashraku billah. They have ashraku. So how did they associate? How are a disbeliever? So let's just look at like an atheist. He has disbelieved in Allah. How is he a mushrikin though? Because he is now following another belief system that is not from Allah. Anything that's not from Allah is shirk. In belief, of course. But mostly, obviously in religious context, right? So like Allah says, Allah created the heavens. No. It was randomly done. Boom. Shirk. You get it? They created a new belief system that's theirs. That's their God. Who's instructed them? Shaitan.
Yeah.
They're not going to say it, but we know right away. Shaitan just said that nonsense because obviously Allah created this. No one else did. No partners, nothing. And to get even deeper into all this, just the last point, Shaitan is a kafir. Allah said, do sujood to Adam, and all the angels did it. Illa Iblis, so except Iblis, so he became arrogance. Wakana minal kafirin, and he became a kafirin. How is he's a disbeliever here? What does that mean? That means he does not agree to Allah's command that we should do sujood to this human being, Adam, and that what he thinks is the correct way and Allah's way is the incorrect way. So his judgment is better than Allah's judgment. You understand? So this is deep on the kafirin part of shaitan. Yeah. So you can see how bad a kuffar really is. So when you guys reread the Quran, I'm telling you, it's a completely, amazingly more deeper book than when you start from the beginning. Allah, inna ladina kafaru sawa'un alayhim, and so on, and it just explains kafir. Then there's levels of disbelief. There's dhalimin, there's hypocrites, there's all fasiqun. There's all these levels of this type of mushriks. Mushrik is the most obvious one, right? The guy is worshipping Ganesh or whatever stuff, right? Some other idols and all that. It's so obvious, but they're also a kafir by default. So they're all mushrikin. So this is a huge verse, okay? So let's just go back. I'm going to close this. So in the night, so why we got here? So Allah says that the number 19, this whole idea, is going to be a fitna lilladina kafaru. So now that you guys realize, whoa, what's this? This is not a simple little disbeliever. What you may have had in your mind. It's deeper than that. Okay, it's far, far deeper. Okay, those who have disbelieved. So that those who are given a book can, attain certainty. Now, I'm not going to read through all of this and the reasoning and so on, but you can see that here, Allah says that those who have disease in their hearts, marad, wal kafirun, and the disbelievers are gonna say these things. So the mushriks among the people of the book. Okay, so they are the ones that are having this punishment um, of saqar. Okay, and their response. Okay, the mushriks, technically, of the kafirs, of all of this, so they have the chance, they believed, they disbelieved, they learned, they heard about all of this. They have a strict, different punishment, right? There's 7 gates, 7 types of punishments. Um, and theirs is thoroughly explained here, and in Surah Qamar, which we don't need to get to. But they say the first thing, Lam naku minal musallin. So this is uh, the purpose of one of the akhirah, right? Akhirah. Obviously, we do it in the dunya, right? Because it affects our akhirah. But in the akhirah, it saves us by Allah's permission. I'm putting it in a simple way, right? Okay. Because they were not, in this verse, it says they're not saved, right? They're not saved, but those who did do salah, right? They are not in saqar. So the first thing is this, okay? It saves. It's an akhirah stuff. The other thing, so preparing for judgment day, let's just say that, slash meeting Allah, judgment day. You know, did you follow the book of Allah? Yes, your judgment is so how, and there's just basically 3 major things, right? There's the standing, okay, on that day. There's the kneeling and prostration. Okay, now standing, we can go to, okay, here we go. So 68, let's go here. So standing could be 39, 68. Now, guys, these verses are not mandatory that you should know them by heart, but at least know the details. But eventually, when you guys should know these. Kneeling is going to be in it's the last verse was 50 something, 50. Sorry, 49, 49, not even 48. There we go. 48, 70. So al-mursalat, 48. And the last one, I'm gonna probably get this one wrong, but I know where it is. It's sort of 68. And I'm gonna guess this one. It says 45. It is 43. Subhanallah. It's actually a lot of 43s are popping out here. See that? It's a lot of 43s. Okay, so it's actually 42 to 43. So let's go right here like this. 43. Guys, we're not gonna go through much because there's a lot more to see, okay? But it's just you guys should know this. If you saw Salah 1, this is very obvious. I don't say it in Salah 2 because I'm not gonna repeat it. But huge verse like 42, the day that feet, leg is shin, and so on. And we're invited to do prostration when we're able to. And then 43, they're gonna be khashi'atan abasaruhum tarqahuhum dhillah. So obviously we're not at the stages of doing salah directly, but this is like a good way of introducing us to the next or the next levels that's coming up. But this is very important. So we're preparing or mastering and so on, meeting for that day. These strict positions are going to be there. Is going to be commanded, and people who have practiced or done it throughout this whole dunya right now. So it's kind of interconnected. Okay, these 2 points. This gets directly affected. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, so let's just recap. First thing, remembrance of Allah. Easy. 2014. Remember, like the year 2014. I don't know, flat Earth and all that came out this year, and so on. 2014 was an awesome year, a huge year for me and the whole Salah stuff. I think Salah came out, my videos came out in 2014, so that's why it's like huge of a coincidence for me. But 2014, let's try to remember that. 2945, preventions of Salah and the rules, and again, remembrance of Allah is Akbar, it's the greatest. So it connects back to the first one. So number one, we have to think of Allah. The other thing is, and this is all related to dunya, which obviously affects our akhirah, right? And we get saved. Let's just highlight it like this so it looks a little bit cleaner. So you need this and no this. Okay. So standing, kneeling, prostration. And this is going to be literally the benchmark and the basics of the entire Salah process, right? That we're going to see later on, which you guys should know, but we're going to master. That's I would call this, let's call this purposes 1. Okay.